If you're in charge of the small group ministry for a multi-site environment, you probably don't have enough leaders to go around. At least, I've never met anyone who had enough leaders. So the first thing you have to do is pick what I would call low-hanging fruit. These are people that are already somewhat ready to lead. You're not starting from scratch. They've already got some potential. But there are some landmines to picking people that you think are already ready to lead. And let me give you a few. The first landmine is those who already think they're leaders. Well, if they're really a leader, they ought to be able to prove it to you. I had a lot of guys come up to me when I was in men's ministry and say, hey, I'm ready to lead a group. Give me some guys and I'll lead them. Well, I always had the same answer. Go get your own guys. If you're really able to lead, you'll be able to cast some vision for what the group's going to be like. You'll be able to recruit people to come to that. And you won't need me to send you anybody. You'll be able to pull some people together on your own. John Maxwell had a great quote about leadership a few years ago. He said, "He who thinks he's leading when no one is following is only taking a walk." That's the case with people who think they're leaders. The second landmine to avoid is those with their own agendas. Now, this can be, for example, in the area of business. Tonight's Bible study is in Hebrews, but first, I'd like to tell you about this amazing new skincare product I've discovered. That's a business agenda. Could be political or social. Political meaning they've discovered a candidate that they really like in an upcoming election, and they want you to like them too. So that's what they're going to talk about in small group. It's not a good idea. A personal agenda can even be in a spiritual area. It may be that they've read a book or they've seen a video. Somehow they've come across something and they want to share that with everyone they know. Again, if it goes along with your church's vision for small groups, it's okay. If it's something they're doing on their own, it could be pulling people away from what your church wants to happen in small groups. Here's what you have to ask yourself on agendas. Have we been clear enough about what we're trying to do in small groups that everyone knows what groups are for? If they are, then you'll have less of a problem with this idea of personal agendas. A third landmine is people who can lead elsewhere, but they're not yet spiritually mature enough to lead someone to Christ-likeness. Now, this happens a lot with business leaders. They have the skills. They know how to lead a discussion. They know how to pull people together. They can start and end on time, all the things that mechanically make a good group. But they're not yet mature enough spiritually to lead people to Christ-likeness, which is the whole goal of having a small group. It also happens in education, where you've got someone who's a great teacher, or from 12-step groups, where they've led groups that help people through recovery, but they're not yet really able to lead someone to spiritual maturity. That's what you're looking for. So be careful if they've led elsewhere, but aren't mature enough yet. You can build them into maturity, and then they're ready to lead. Finally, our last landmine, those who are unknown. How do you know that this person is ready to lead? Did they tell you? Well, often they're the last person on earth that's really qualified to let you know whether or not they're able to lead. Ask the people around them. Ask others who have been around them in their current small group. If they're not in a small group currently, then don't select them to lead. Make sure they've been in a group for a while, and make sure that you actually talk to the leader of that group to make sure that this person is spiritually mature enough to lead a small group.